And then speaking of lesbians, let's talk about one. Let's talk about JoJo Siwa. Oh wait, she's not a lesbian no more. She's fluid or queer. I don't know what name, what title she go by today. So anyway, so JoJo Siwa recently did an interview where she finally addressed the backlash she received from the queer community for getting in a relationship with a man. So they feel like she betrayed the community. So Siwa was a guest on the podcast Rain with Josh Smith. Josh Smith is like the situation. Say that 10 times fast, where she talked about her experience dating a man and changing her identity from lesbian to queer. The Karma singer had previously identified as a lesbian when she went on Celebrity Big Brother UK. There, she met television host Chris Hughes and started a relationship with him. After all that stuff, that you had Mickey Rourke on TV talking about she's about to turn into you need to be turn like her being a lesbian, she was going to turn straight or whatever the case was. She was like, oh, I promise you, I'm gonna just always be gay. Blah 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, when he gets kicked out of the house, it just feels a little performative. Like, oh, we got to keep the ratings going. So now we got to kind of do this whole showmance where Chris and JoJo are getting together. Now I'm all for, because I do believe sexuality is fluid. I do not believe that. Well, unless you really know, like, okay, no, I'm strictly dickly and I'm a gay man, or I only eat the box and I'm a lesbian. But then there are yes, there are some people who are bisexual. There are some people who are pansexual. There are some people who want to identify as fluid. There are some people who just go by queer, which is like, it's just the broad spectrum name. Even though I remember there was a time where queer was seen as a negative word, but I always looked at it as like unusual and unique. And I prefer to be that than want to blend in and be like every damn body else. So she said, I think that's the thing. I've always told myself I'm a lesbian. And I think being here, I've realized, oh, I'm not a lesbian, I'm queer. And I think that's really cool. I'm switching the letters. Fuck the L, I'm going to the Q. While some people reacted to her remarks with biphobia, others felt hurt by Siwa's fuck the L comment, especially as it came during Lesbian Visibility Week. Well, shout out to the lesbians. At the same time, many people in the queer community wrote defenses of Siwa and her sexuality and called out biphobia. Again, I'm chill by. First of all, y'all, when y'all was out there saying that, I clocked it from the beginning. I was like, y'all go all sit and spin on my middle finger. Um, on the podcast, Smith said that as an outsider looking in, he was shocked at the amount of hate she got after entering her relationship with Hughes. She said, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard because it feels like my own family turned a little bit. And I think we are the LGBTQIA plus family, not the LG community. And it's a beautiful rainbow. And the number one saying of the queer community is love is love. And look, and Democrats say vote blue no matter who. And we've seen how that turned out. And that goes both ways. Siwa says that when she started dating Hugh, she felt like she now gets to be an example of somebody who is in the queer community that is in a heterosexual relationship. And I think that's beautiful because it just shows once again love is love. I guess what I'm trying to say is that just because you're in a heterosexual relationship, that doesn't discredit my past. You know what I mean? No, I'm confused because I'm like, you're in a heterosexual relationship, which I guess now implies that some people say, oh, so it's a phase. Being gay is not a real thing. You've been indoctrinated. You were probably molested. I promise you, like all those stereotypes that they say that how you become gay, that has never been my ministry. Like I've never been sexually abused. I didn't come from a single family household. My mother didn't smother me like I was a pork chop. Like none of that stuff happened. You just are who you are. Now, if this is still a situation where JoJo's trying to figure out who she is, then that's great. But I think that people just feel like the timing of it all, the way you went about it, the way that how Chris comes across as a little shifty and opportunistic, it's just not sitting right. And then on top of that, you were in a whole relationship with someone, and then you're in this show, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you dump her or them, however they identify. And now you're in this full fledged relationship with some reality star. Are you trying to hope that you're gonna get like a reality TV show out of this that's gonna follow your life? Like, I don't think you're that interesting. And then you were talking about, oh, I'm the queen of gay pop or whatever that shit, dumb stuff she said. So it just a lot of things about JoJo. I think is she just weird, and then just rubs a lot of people the wrong way with how she does things. It just comes across as an attention grab, and I think that's why people are feeling the way they feel. Now, according to a 2024 Gallup survey, more than half of LGBTQ plus Americans identify as bisexual, or as I would say, bisexual, compared to 21% who identify as homosexual and 50% who identify as lesbian. Well, apparently I can't hit the notes yet because this voice is still the voice is still voicing. So I got a little horsey situation going on. But anyway, so now on the podcast, she also said she bonded with queer singer Fletcher, who announced that she was in a relationship with a man around the same time as her and also experienced a backlash, saying she and I have very similar story at a very similar time. And I saw people doing the same thing to her. And her and I have kind of been able to talk and be there for each other and be like, dude, this is crazy. And she's like, I get you, you get me. Like, what's happening? Maybe y'all need a scissor. Like this is from inside our own house. Now, as a cultural remedy, Siwa encouraged people to listen to Michael Jackson's 1988 song. Not Man in the Mirror. Girl, have a seat. You wasn't even born when that damn song came out. And if you want to make the world a better place, okay, I'm not even going to do that because now she want me to read the goddamn lyrics. It's like, ma'am, I was alive when that song came out. You are not going to sit up here and try to quote Michael Jackson to me. So now, when asked about bisexual erasure, she said that older people in the community need to realize that when they criticize her relationships, they're actually hurting people who are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years younger than her. I don't know how you trying to connect yourself to the whole world. It's like, as it was stated earlier in the show, before I even got to this topic, JoJo really thinks she's more famous than she thinks she is. It's like, girl, you are living in a world of delusion. But she also proposed hypothetical situations about two different 22-year-old girls, one who falls in love with a boy for the first time and one who falls in love with a girl for the first time, and says that they will think you can't change your mind, you can't fall in love. So maybe she's one of those, I forget what that term is. Maybe it's demisexual or something or another, where it's like you fall in love with the person and the energy and all that other stuff rather than like the whole sexual situation. So maybe that's what she identified. Maybe she doesn't have the word for it. That's why she's called herself queer because it's more generalized. But there are situations where it's like we've heard many situations of women who like let's use Niecy Nash for an example. Maybe she'd be the perfect example, but maybe they feel like but I don't know. Maybe that people do feel like that she's a betrayal, and I think it's probably because JoJo went so hard for the queer community, like trying to overcompensate, and act like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wave the big rainbow flag for the queer community, and also like the way she carried herself, and I think that's what pretty much irritated people. They're like, That's why I think she's getting so much backlash. Whereas Niecy Nash, I don't know if she got backlash. I don't recall hearing she got backlash. Maybe she did, but for many years she was in relationships with men. Then she met Jessica Betts, and they've been together ever since. And she's in a loving relationship with her. So I think that in certain situations, maybe people it gets greater later. People get older and then they change their mind about or just wake up and they're more open and receptive to different things regarding exploring their sexuality, a part of themselves that's been dormant for a long time. And maybe that's where it's like people were easier on Niecy Nash because she's older. She's got a little, she's been around for a while. And so her getting into a relationship with someone of the same sex, that's it makes more sense to do that. JoJo is very young. Also, let's not forget, Chris Hughes is 10 years older than JoJo. JoJo, I believe, is 22. Chris is 32. So some people look at this as like a grooming situation. Would it be considered a grooming situation because JoJo is significantly younger? Her frontal lobe hasn't fully developed yet. So how does she know what she wants? How is she so self-assured about her sexuality and what she wants in a relationship or if she wants to be with guys? So I guess it's a lot to think about, but JoJo girl, I just feel like whenever you say something, I get you like just go figure out yourself and all this stuff. But I just feel like every time you talk, um, people just be looking at you sideways, and it's just like you make it worse. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding what JoJo Siwa had to say about y'all picking on her because and the backlash she received because she decided to no longer eat the box? And now she's all about the Nathan's hot dogs. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.